Tonight, changes to the AgriStability program to help drought-stricken farmers. Heavy rain causes flooding in several Saskatchewan communities. And more Canadian firefighters are on the way to northern Saskatchewan.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Dealing with devastating droughts, producers in southwest Saskatchewan have called for more assistance, stating current measures will not be enough to keep some of the farmers afloat. Today, the provincial and federal government announced temporary changes to the AgriStability program they hope will address those growing concerns. Jacob Carr has the details.
This summer, rural municipalities like Big Stick, Maple Creek, Fox Valley, and Enterprise had declared state of emergencies due to extreme drought. Now, in response, the federal and provincial governments are stepping up to help agricultural producers by making changes to Saskatchewan's AgriStability program.
You know, so certainly we did some field tours, and you know, that helped. You know, bring my message to the federal minister and my colleagues at the FPT.
Changes for the 2025 year include a 10% increase in the compensation rate from 80 to 90% and doubling the maximum payment cap from $3 million to $6 million. The provincial NDP acknowledged the changes are positive but remain concerned about other factors affecting markets like tariffs.
Changes to AgriStability are good. Certainly it's part of what we've been calling for, but AgriStability is nobody's first choice, right? Farmers want their crop in a bin and they want to see the value of those crops helping grow their industry.
The Agricultural Producers Association of Saskatchewan says the 10% bump could make a significant difference to some farmers on the AgriStability program.
It's reassuring to them to know that the government support programs are being responsive to the obvious difficulties out on the farms, particularly in this part of the country.
A permanent change to the AgriStability program will kick in next year. It will see adjustments to the feed inventory pricing for livestock producers. This change will be designed to ensure calculations accurately reflect farm realities, especially in dry conditions. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Now, as for yesterday, it was central Saskatchewan taking a hit. Areas in Saskatoon experienced flash flooding with some intersections completely impassable, while funnel clouds were seen in the Allen area. Environment Canada still working to determine if a tornado did touch down. There have been 17 confirmed tornadoes in Saskatchewan so far this summer. And Sabine joins us for our first look at weather. Yeah, a little excitement on the weekend. Saturday, some heavy rains, tornado warnings. We saw the same thing Sunday, but today maybe a little calmer across the province?
For now, yeah, because it is that season, Lee. So, yes, for the most part, we started out with mostly clear conditions. We started to see more of the clouds roll in late this afternoon, and as you can see behind me on the radar satellite, we are starting to see more of that rain return starting in the southwest. Now, temperatures are also going to start to come down quite a bit compared to what we're used to, that average, of course, being in the high 20s. Currently, we're still sitting in the high teens to low 20s for parts of southern Saskatchewan, all the way up to the north. We're seeing much cooler temperatures, especially around Stony Rapids. Now, the average, as I already mentioned, high teens, usually 26 degrees this time of year. Today, we got up to 22 degrees, nowhere close to last year's high of 30 degrees today last year. But we will see that 30-degree temperature later this week, along with more rain, and the smoke is returning. I have a whole lot coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. We're going to talk about some of the flooding that we saw on Saturday. But first, the City of Regina says it'll be another year before major repairs begin on a stormwater pipe that's near the Albert Street Bridge. Large pumps in Wascana Park are providing a bit of a temporary solution, but some park users say the area has become a bit of an eyesore. Wayne Mantika has the story.
Every day, hundreds of people walk past this construction area in Wascana Park. It's next to the Albert Street Bridge, where a storm water pipe broke 2 years ago.
Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. I figured there was something to do with the water system, but it's been taking a while.
The pipe break was discovered when a sinkhole appeared in a backyard on the other side of the bridge. The pumps are a temporary solution to move storm water into Wascana Creek. The city had hoped to begin repairs this summer, but in a written statement says, we anticipate construction will begin in 2026. The temporary pumps provide essential stormwater service to a large portion of the downtown area.
I don't know how long it's going to take for them to finish this, but it could be another situation where it could take 2 years, just like Dudney Avenue. So it's an eyesore for sure. And I'm not sure how safe it is. Yeah, there's a little fence here and there, but I just wish they'd get this done as soon as possible.
The city says it is spending $600,000 annually on the pumping equipment. Earlier estimates placed repairs at $15 million. City officials were not available to provide further details about the repair plan. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Well, remember the old saying, when it rains, it pours? That's the case for communities like Assiniboia and Eston. Dry conditions for most of the year until thunderstorms dumped 4 to 5 inches of rain in only a matter of moments, causing severe flooding on Saturday. Brittany Poitras shows us the aftermath.
Navigating streets full of water in a canoe. Just one example of how extreme the flash flooding was over the weekend.
It's kind of a once in a every decade kind of flood.
Over a 12-hour period, communities in southwest Saskatchewan, including Eston, were hammered with up to 100 millimeters of rain, filling streets and even homes with water.
I'd say probably maybe a third. Yeah, the low-lying areas in town will definitely be impacted. The parks, the rec facilities, like the ball diamonds, were all completely underwater.
This isn't the first time Eston has seen this type of downpour. 4 weeks ago, the town saw similar rainfall that impacted businesses, including the town's golf course. There were 3 separate storms throughout the day, causing widespread flooding.
The ground has absorbed water already. And then when you get a heavy downpour from a thunderstorm on top of that, there's just kind of the ground's just not really able to absorb that extra water, and so it becomes overland flooding, essentially.
Town officials say cleanup efforts are underway.
The town crew, the water treatment plant manager, and the town foreman and all the staff, they've been working tirelessly nonstop basically since Saturday afternoon, just going to try and get the storm drains all cleaned out.
Although the worst is over, there is more rain expected in the forecast.
Probably not going to be as intense as we saw on the weekend, but, still thunderstorms bring heavy rain, so it's still something we'll have to contend with for the next couple days.
The rain is expected to let up later this week, bringing with it sunshine and rising temperatures. Brittany Poitras, CTV News in Regina.
23 firefighters from New Brunswick are headed to Saskatchewan today to help fight the northern wildfires. 52 wildfires are burning in Saskatchewan, 13 still out of control. The largest is the Shoe Fire. It's been burning since May in the lower Fishing Lake area. Saskatchewan saw rain yesterday, but officials say it missed those critical fire zones. The New Brunswick crew joined firefighters already on the ground from Quebec, Nova Scotia, and Ontario, as well as international teams from Australia and Mexico.
I want to again thank hundreds of individuals, whether they are supporting or on the front line, for the work that they are doing to keep us safe.
The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says the top priority right now is the Wolf Fire. That's the one burning near the northern village of Beauval. A judge has chosen to give a Saskatchewan firefighter who was found guilty of arson probation instead of jail time. John Flatters has more from Unity.
25-year-old Logan Sieben was arrested and charged with arson causing mischief after a series of hay bales were set on fire near Macklin in July and August of 2024. Court heard 30 suspicious fires were set in the area near Macklin. Sieben admitted to setting 3. At the time of his arrest, Macklin Fire Chief Justin Bass said Sieben was a member of the Macklin and District Fire Department. Court heard Sieben was a 25-year-old with no prior criminal record but had been dealing with significant health issues since 2017 with what was described as a mental health spiral in April 2024. The judge acknowledged Sieben's conduct was very much out of character, that he had apologized and was taking counseling for mental health. The Crown says Sieben's quick admission saves significant court resources, as 10 to 14 witnesses would be required. It also acknowledged Sieben had been complying with conditions. He appeared with family at a courthouse in Unity Monday for sentencing. Sieben was sentenced to 18 months of probation, 200 hours community service, counseling, and the condition not to possess any fire-starting equipment like matches or lighters. When speaking to the court, Sieben said, quote, "I'm truly sorry, and I'll do everything I can to make it right." John Flatters, CTV News, Unity.
The provincial government is committing more than $800,000 towards an organization helping women reintegrate after leaving custody. It's part of a new multi-year agreement with the Elizabeth Fry Society of Saskatchewan. $280,000 will be invested annually from 2025 to 2028 towards the Wickwin Supportive Housing Program. The Elizabeth Fry Society will provide supervision of women residing at the property, along with a range of wraparound supports, including addiction services and income assistance.
We want somebody to be healthy and thriving in their home community. That means reintegration into the community. It means reunification with their loved ones, if they have children or spouses or other family members. Making sure that when somebody comes out of a custodial environment, that they're being merged back into the community, reunified, and reintegrated in a very holistic way.
McLeod adds the agreement expands on its pre-existing relationship with the Society, including funding of more than $300,000 over 2 years, announced last year to help expand its presence in women's correctional facilities. Well, HIV is a concern here in Saskatchewan, with some of the highest numbers per capita in the country. Now a new partnership is looking to slow down those numbers, as well as other serious infections in the province. Mick Favel tells us more about this pop-up program.
Jason Littleford is demonstrating what someone about to be tested for HIV, hepatitis C, and syphilis would experience. He's part of a team at the AIDS Programs South Saskatchewan looking to combat these illnesses using new tactics not yet seen in Saskatchewan.
Essentially meet individuals where they're at. And by doing that, we go to pop-ups at different locations where needles have been found and picked up, and do our best to do the education part and then get people tested, connect them with care.
Pop-up tents will happen every 2 to 3 weeks. Their locations determined by information currently being gathered through a needle pickup app. The app holds data from needles found and picked up since 2021. Since then, 38,000 needles have been picked up in Regina.
With these pop-up events, we're able to provide education around PEP and PrEP, which is a pre-exposure prophylaxis and a post-exposure prophylaxis. It's a medication that you can take to prevent the HIV virus, and as well as if you've ever been exposed.
According to APSS, Saskatchewan has nearly 5 times the national average when it comes to HIV cases. In 2023, Saskatchewan also had the highest HIV rates in the country, narrowly outpacing neighboring Manitoba.
If you don't know your status, you could be transmitting that illness to someone else. So that's what our main goal is, to decrease the infections as well as to reduce the stigma in the community.
We're here, then there's people that haven't lived the experience. It makes it easier for us to connect them with care, right? So it makes it easier to talk to a person when you know that they've been through the same struggles.
This week, a pop-up is being planned for the North Central neighborhood as the group looks to address the stigma associated with these serious illnesses and get people talking about what is happening in the province. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, trade will be front and center as Canadian premiers meet in Ontario. While in Ottawa, U.S. senators meet with the PM and cabinet ministers with more tariffs on the horizon. Canada's premiers and territorial leaders are in Ontario cottage country for the next 3 days, talking trade, tariffs, and teamwork. They'll be joined by Indigenous leaders today and tomorrow, the Prime Minister. Rachel Aiello has the details from Huntsville, Ontario.
Well, first of all, I want to welcome everyone.
Premiers today kicked off the annual Summer Council of the Federation meeting at a critical time for the country.
Right now, our economy in all Canada suffers because of the uncertainty.
Facing intensifying tariff pressure from the U.S. and a looming deadline to reach a new trade deal, premiers have come to cottage country to work together to find ways to drive Canadian prosperity.
I'm feeling fantastic.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is hosting the 3-day meeting and started it off calling for a revived Buy Canadian push in every province and territory.
Start buying Canadian-made everything. We are an economic powerhouse, and we don't have to take a backseat to anyone.
Beyond buying local, premiers say Canada needs to build. And so today they met with Indigenous leaders to talk about moving major new nation-building energy and infrastructure projects forward, an effort effort to find a way to get to a yes faster, while still ensuring First Nations leaders are consulted.
It's time now in 2025 that First Nations are at the table and that we have a bigger seat in this country.
Provincial and territorial leaders are also aiming to advance internal trade pacts while here, carrying on with work they've been doing this year to break down domestic barriers and find new markets.
These are all steps. They're steps in the right direction. We need to have free and open trade between our provinces. We need to have free and open trade on our continent with the U.S. and Mexico.
Tonight, premiers will be having dinner at Ford's nearby family cottage, a private planning session ahead of a big meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney tomorrow. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Huntsville, Ontario.
Now, amid the Council of Federation meetings, Saskatchewan and Manitoba are working towards removing several trade barriers. The premiers of the two provinces signed a memorandum of understanding today, which includes a framework for direct-to-consumer alcohol sales and what's known as mutual recognition. Billions of dollars in interprovincial trade is already done every year between Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Similar agreements have also been signed with Ontario and Prince Edward Island. A group of U.S. senators are in Ottawa today meeting with a number of Liberal cabinet ministers, including Prime Minister Mark Carney. They're here talking about the ongoing trade war and how Canada can avoid pushing tariffs on getting them on August the 1st. Mike Lacouture has the latest.
The group of bipartisan senators say they're here to build bridges, not to throw wrenches, as Canada and the U.S. attempt to hammer out a trade agreement. Now, all of them are opposed to the looming 35% tariffs on a number of Canadian goods.
Looking forward to it.
There was an air of positivity as the four American senators went into the meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney, and they felt progress was made 45 minutes later, and in another meeting with Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand.
She says we have a framework within that we wish to operate. We have the frame. We need to make it work.
The senators said they discussed contentious issues like the digital services tax, which Canada has paused, and the decades-long dispute over Canadian softwood lumber exports.
I think we now have a clear idea of how to proceed, and that's to build around some sort of quota arrangement. And the Prime Minister said he was open to that.
How'd it go?
It was good.
Good meeting?
It's good. It's a very good meeting. Thank you very much.
Carney was tight-lipped at the conclusion of the meeting, but the minister in charge of trade with the U.S. was upbeat ahead of his meeting with that same group of senators.
Do you think we're going to get a deal with the United States?
Hope so.
Can we get a deal that doesn't include tariffs on them?
We're not going to discuss all this stuff.
Now, asked if they believe a tariff-free deal is possible, Senator Murkowski said that's up to negotiators.
We all want to get to August 1st and beyond with a resolve that works for Canada and works for the United States.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that deadline and the threat of a 35% surtax will focus all trading partners.
I would think that a higher tariff level will put more pressure on those countries to come with better agreements.
And Canada has just 10 days to come up with agreement or face those punishing tariffs. Mike Lacouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Nearly 1 year after the Jasper wildfires, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is demanding an apology for reports from the town that says that the province interfered in wildfire response.
This report comes as a shot out of the blue. It's unfair, it's untrue, and I would like them to withdraw it.
In a statement, the town of Jasper says it will not comment on if it plans to retract the report, which comes from surveys and interviews with more than 300 firefighters and frontline workers who battled the wildfire. The community is also planning a week of activities to mark the anniversary of the fire this Thursday. A father from Montreal has been charged in the death of his 9-year-old daughter in New York State. Melina Fertolin lived with her mother full-time in Montreal. She was in upstate New York on vacation with her father in the days leading up to the incident. Police say her father, 45-year-old Luciano Fertolin, reported her missing on Saturday in a possible abduction. Her body was found on Sunday. He has since been charged with second-degree murder and concealment of a human corpse. The federal government is providing $2.8 million in funding through the Emergency Treatment Fund to combat the overdose crisis in Atlantic Canada.
Have to improve access for people to get, not only emergency fund, but also treatment and what works for them and rehabilitation. It's a whole holistic approach.
The announcement made this morning comes as overdoses in the region are on the rise. This funding will go towards municipalities and Indigenous communities to support drug and overdose programs in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration says it's investigating a near miss between a passenger plane and a fighter jet in North Dakota. Here's a clip of the pilot apologizing for startling his passengers with an abrupt turn.
It was a military, I don't know how fast they were going, but they were a lot faster than us. I felt it was the safest thing to do to turn behind it. So sorry about the aggressive maneuver. It caught me by surprise. This is not normal at all.
The aircraft was attempting to make a landing at an airport in North Dakota, sitting near a military Air Force base that does house B-52 bombers, which is what caused the pilot to make that abrupt turn. And Malcolm Jamal Warner, known for his role on The Cosby Show, has died at age 54 in a drowning accident.
Help yourself at home and get the peanut butter's there and the celery's in the kitchen. Just don't leave.
Warner rose to fame as a child star playing Theo Huxtable in the hit sitcom from 1984 to 1992. He'd also appear in the TV series Malcolm and Eddie, Read Between the Lines, and the film Fool's Gold. Coming up, the Western Development Museum in Moose Jaw welcomes a Métis artifact to its collection.
On the next CTV Morning Live, we're checking in with Saskatchewan's hospitality sector. With summer in full swing and American tariffs looming, we'll break down what that means.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your forecast heading into this evening and for the rest of the week, and even touch on the weekend. As you can see outside through our sky cam, it's already getting quite hazy. Now, our air quality isn't too bad here in the Regina area. However, just to the west of us, there are areas, including Moose Jaw and Swift Current, right to the border. There are some air quality warnings that have been issued late this afternoon, and I don't want to say we could see them, but we could see them, actually, because it does look like we're expecting to see the air quality health index for us in Regina just to get even higher as we head into tomorrow. So something to keep an eye on. If you do not need to spend time outdoors, maybe just stay indoors, at least for tomorrow, because it's also going to be rainy, and I'll show you that in a second as well. Currently 21 degrees, and our wind sitting at just under 20 kilometers an hour. We did warm up to 22 degrees, not too bad of a day, but it was the clouds that started to roll in late this afternoon that may have affected your day because the sun wasn't shining. That'll change by the end of this week. But for now, this is what we've got going on. So again, radar satellite showing for much of the day, not a whole lot happening when it comes to active weather. However, we are starting to see more of that rain enter into southwest Saskatchewan. We have rain coming from Alberta and then also down across the border from the southwest. So we have quite a bit of activity coming our way as we head into this evening. So already starting to see some scattered showers and some pop-up pockets of precipitation coming through into the Saskatoon area. But as we continue into tonight, I'll just get out of your way. You can see around the Assiniboia and Estevan area, we're going to start to see possibly some storm activity. We could possibly see some severe thunderstorm watches warnings come into effect early morning. Is that late night or is that early morning? I'm not sure, but it's 1 a.m. around 1 a.m. We'll start to see some really high activity coming through that area, and then more rain continuing throughout the day starting first thing tomorrow morning. That rain looks like primarily we'll see it mostly in the Saskatoon area, but Regina is still expecting to see the rain along with Yorkton. So again, we're going to continue to see that rain sticking around for much of Tuesday, and even some storm activity again by late into the evening Tuesday for the Swift Current Assiniboia area again. And Regina seeing more continued rain throughout Tuesday until we get into Wednesday, where the rain will subside, but we will still see cloud cover sticking around until we get into Thursday, Friday, where more sunshine is returning along with the really warm temperatures. This is an updated look at what we could expect. This does mirror our tracker, and of course we know systems change. So with the systems, we could see less rain in certain areas. We could see more rain. This is just a picture, a snapshot of what we could expect between now into Thursday early morning. And this is also what our smoke forecast is looking like. Again, mirroring what we are seeing with Environment and Climate Change Canada's warnings and air quality health index that we've been watching. So something, again, to keep in mind, if you do not need to be spending time outdoors, maybe just stay indoors, at least for tomorrow, because like I said, the weekend is looking like it's going to be a beautiful one. Tomorrow, again, a little cooler just because of the system that's coming through with the cloud, the rain, the cold front. So we will have some much cooler temperatures than what our average usually is during this time of year. Southwest, again, high teens as our expected high, and of course the rain continuing throughout the southwest, even the southeast. A little warmer for Estevan and Swift Current, or excuse me, Weyburn. Low 20s are expected high, and for Regina tonight, a warm one. 15 degrees tonight, but warming to 22 with the rain throughout mostly the morning tomorrow. But here's a look at your next 7 days. Not too bad. I know there are many people waiting to see these temperatures return. So again, rain tomorrow, 22 degrees, and again, that rain mostly in the morning. And then Wednesday, 20 with the mix of sun and cloud, and then those really warm temperatures return above seasonal. 26 Thursday, sunny, 29 on Friday. I forgot the Rider logo, so I know Lee's going to call me out on it, but Friday night is game night at Mosaic Stadium. And as we head into Saturday, 28 and sunny, 27 in a mix of sun and cloud. And then as the new work week begins, Monday and mainly sunny. If you are planning on wearing an elf costume, because it is Christmas in July at Mosaic Stadium, it's going to be hot, so maybe stay hydrated. Lee.
So you just talked about heavy smoke coming in.
Yes.
Rider game on Friday.
I don't...
Are you going to get booed again?
I don't want to talk about it.
Let's hope it doesn't happen this time around.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sabine.
Bye.
The Western Development Museum in Moose Jaw gained a new artifact this weekend, one with ties to the Métis community. Damien Smith has more.
I can't think of anything more iconic and really early transportation than the Red River cart.
In a museum full of Canadian transportation history, one new artifact was added over the weekend. Red River carts like this one helped Métis people carry all kinds of goods around the rugged Canadian prairies throughout the 1800s.
It is the economic driver of all the commerce before steam engines and motorized technology on the prairies.
In their heyday between around 1850 and 1870, the carts could carry up to 1,000 pounds of essential items all over the prairies. Carts would carry traders as far north as the Athabasca River and as far south as St. Louis in the United States.
And the Métis homeland is huge. It's 5 times the size of the continents of Europe. You know, it takes up of all of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, and parts of BC, and into the northern parts.
Well, the unique features on those, like the wheels are wrapped in buffalo rawhide.
Rich Pickering and a group of local volunteers came together to build this cart, looking to create the most accurate replica possible, as most real Red River carts have been lost to time.
We sourced the wood locally and we put it all together and ended up with the cart. We used original tools at some times. We also used some modern tools. The biggest challenge was getting everything cut and fit properly. There's no screws, there's no bolts, everything's put together with joints.
The group behind the cart hopes this can be the first of more Métis artifacts in the museum. Future additions the new Southern Plains Métis Local 160 hopes to see include a Chippewa freighter canoe and a York boat, which are 2 other transportation methods that made Métis trading possible in the 1800s. Damien Smith, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
And Back to Potage has wrapped up for another year. 4 days of celebrating Métis culture and community with fiddling, jigging, and other competitions. About 40,000 people are estimated to have attended this year's festival. One elder describes it as a big family reunion.
We're bringing people home here. This is a place to connect. This is a place to connect with your distinction, with your identity, your music, your stories, your dance, your languages.
Back to Potage Days has been running for more than 5 decades, recognized internationally as a significant celebration. Double eights was double trouble for the BC Lions on the weekend, recapping a Rider win next.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Well, football fans in Riderville feeling a lot better these days after the green and white returned home from the West Coast with a 33-27 victory over the Lions, securing the season series against BC.
First and 10 from the 30. Harris, pump fake. Now a shot down the sideline. Touchdown, Riders. Drops it in there for Myers.
Receiver Dante Myers posting his second multi-touchdown game. He's now tied with A.J. Ouellette for the most touchdowns by a Rider this season with 4. Trevor Harris, solid again in 5 games. He's now thrown for 9 touchdowns, 1,626 yards passing, and a completion percentage of 76%. That'd be on pace for a career high, or at the very least close to his personal best.
Sustaining drives, it does, multiple things. One, allows them to catch their breath. It allows us to, play on their side of the sandbox a little bit more, keep field position. And it allows us to get more plays. And so we can obviously, get into more of our game plan stuff and, get into a little bit more of a rhythm, because offense is all about rhythm. And if we can continue to develop rhythm, those are hard offenses to stop.
Trevor was dialed. The offensive line, I know Trevor got touched a couple times, but for the most part, man, I thought they did a hell of a job. Shout out to Darius Washington as well, jumping in there for his first game against Betson Tehama. I thought he did a great job, man, and the rest of the unit. And then, I thought we had some hard runs on there, and they did a solid job.
Now, some bad news. Running back Kadeem Carey likely out long-term with a lower body injury. We're not going to show you. It was a little bit gruesome. Thomas Bertrand-Houdon already on a 6-game injured list. So as a result, GM Jeremy O'Day likely busy this week trying to find a backup running back for A.J. Ouellette. With Dave Taylor leaving to join the UBC women's basketball program, former player and assistant Michaela Kleisinger will take over the reins. Kleisinger joined the Cougars as a coach in 22-23 and says she will take what she learned from Dave Taylor and use it to keep the program successful.
Consistently recruiting at a high level. He brought athletes from everywhere, internationally, local, the highest level of competition, the highest level of athletes. So just lots to learn about how to keep a program in the top 10, and hopefully I can keep that going. I'm hoping for high energy, high compete. The thing I told the girls was I want high performance to meet high support. So I really want our athletes to feel supported on the court, off the court, whatever they need. It is a student athlete, so I really want them to feel supported through all of that, but we are, aiming to keep the program at a high level, and that's going to come with high compete. I'm hoping to play a fast game, want us to get up and down the court and score as much as we can, and yeah, ideally keep us up in the top of Canada West.
Probably because I'm
The Cougars season starts on Halloween night versus Manitoba on the U of R campus. Still to come, a look at how crops are progressing in east central Saskatchewan.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast now as we see what we can expect for tomorrow. It's going to be cool and rainy for many parts of the province tomorrow, and then we will also still have the effects of the smoke that we're feeling in many parts of the province as well. But you can see as that system's coming in from the west, already very cool in Kindersley tomorrow. The expected daytime high 12 degrees, rain throughout much of the day. Watrous 17, Outlook 14, Wynyard 16. A little warmer in Meadow Lake, 20 degrees, and the only place that could see a little bit of sunshine tomorrow and cloudy right across the board for Lloydminster, Spiritwood, Melfort, and Hudson Bay. If we take a closer look at areas closer to the border, a little warmer, but still expecting to see quite a bit of rain in many areas with a risk of thunderstorm for areas like East End, Cypress, and Maple Creek, expecting to get up to 17 degrees as our daytime high tomorrow. 13 for Leader and Rosetown, and over in the southeast there, Carlisle, cloudy, 21 degrees, rain for Broadview, 20, and Lumsden, Pilot Butte, 22 degrees, expecting rain mostly in the morning. If we take a closer look at Kerrobert, located about 440 kilometers northwest of Regina. Very rainy day tomorrow, also under the air quality warning as well right now. 13 degrees, rain throughout much of the day tomorrow. Could see anywhere between 15 to 20 millimeters of rain for the day tomorrow.
Crime Stoppers need your help to catch a suspect that was involved in several liquor thefts between the dates of April the 15th, 2025 and June the 18th, 2025. A woman entered a store on a 300 block of Albert Street North and stole several bottles of liquor numerous times. These are a few pictures of the suspect. If you know who she is, you're asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina Crime Stoppers. Did you know Crime Stoppers would pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
And some news just came across my desks. Costs for the city's new pool continues to go up. According to an administration report, the replacement for the Lawson pool will now cost more than $285 million. That's up from $241 million just 9 months ago. In October, council approved the $240 million project, but a third party has revealed the approved scope is $40 million over budget. Administration is recommending the city increase the budget by reallocating funds from other projects and increasing debt financing by $10 million. The report will be in front of councillors Wednesday at the city's next executive committee meeting. The status of crops in the province depends on where your land is. Producers in the southwest dealing with droughts with little to no crops, while farmers in east central Saskatchewan are hoping for a good crop. Regina Declute has more on the growing season in the Parkland region.
Southeast Saskatchewan has turned green and yellow over the past couple of weeks as growing season is shaping up nicely.
We certainly haven't been over inundated by rain, but we've had enough rain to keep the crops growing, and they're filling nicely now, so optimistic that we have a decent crop coming.
Pribilski says the late snowfall carried crops until it started raining.
Yeah, we have had some challenges, but it's been a pretty good season so far.
But a good growing season doesn't mean idle hands.
So we're doing what we can to protect that yield. So applying fungicides is one of the things that we do. Those of us with livestock, we're doing making some bales of hay.
Even though drought is impacting parts of the province, Yorkton area crops are developing just fine.
When it doesn't get too hot, our canola pod's really nice. We don't have a lot of heat blast. It also helps with the filling of the wheat and filling of the oats and the barley.
Instead of the weather, the biggest challenge for producers this season is geopolitics.
Probably the biggest thing that we're kind of worried about is next year's fertilizer pricing is already starting to come out, and it's even higher than last year.
Farmers we spoke to remain optimistic. With crops in good shape and confidence running high, farmers are hopeful that the bins will be full come fall. Regina Declute, CTV News, Yorkton.
The Prince Albert Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans Organization, or ANIVITS, is receiving some much-needed funding from the province to make building repairs. The program provides grants up to $30,000 to organizations like ANIVITS and the Royal Canadian Legion for building repairs and maintenance. For the 25-26 year, $1.4 million in project grants was provided to 67 Legion branches, ANIVIT units, and other registered nonprofit veterans organizations across Saskatchewan. ANIVIT says the Saskatchewan Veterans Service Club support program has helped them out a lot.
It's an old building, and it needs a lot of maintenance over the years. Like, we could do Band-Aids, but without this grant program, we wouldn't be able to do that.
The Prince Albert Royal Canadian Legion branch and ANIVITS Unit 222 have received almost $290,000 in grant money since the program began back in 2019. unfortunately for comic book and entertainment fans in the Queen City, the final issue of Sask Expo Regina has already come to pass. The event was canceled last year and was seeking to set a new date in 2025, but organizers have now made the announcement the expo is dissolving entirely. Reasons given for the full shutdown include lower post-pandemic audience, venue issues, and other challenges. Take a look at the stock markets today. The TSX up by 2 points, very slightly. Dow Jones down slightly by 19 points. The Canadian dollar, it went up more than 0.2% at 73.07 cents U.S., up above the 73 mark again. Gold up $47.11. West Texas Intermediate crude down 10 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude was down $1.28. And if you're looking for gas in Regina, you can find it basically for $1.30.9 cents per liter.
Hello there. Toronto's composite stock index edged higher today to end just north of 27,300, only just down from last Thursday's record close, as banks such as CIBC and Bank of Montreal hit their highest trading prices ever. Toronto was also pushed higher by gold miners as bullion hit its highest in a month, amid fears that tariffs will keep inflation high and make interest rate cuts less likely. South of the border, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite Index did hit records. Investors are wagering that strong corporate earnings will prop up stocks. Tesla and Google parent Alphabet both report on Wednesday. The Wall Street Journal says Britain faces the departure of thousands of global rich folk after a centuries-old tax loophole was abolished in April. Non-domiciled or non-dom status allowed foreigners living in the UK to pay tax only on what they earned in Britain. The Journal says wealthy expats are rushing for the exits, sparking questions about whether this effort will raise any money. One challenge is that the wealthy are highly mobile, with houses around the world and private jets. Jurisdictions such as Dubai, Italy, and Monaco are offering to welcome the wealthy, with structures that are like non-dom status. That's the latest in business. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
Coming up tonight, right after the newscast, American Ninja Warrior. 2 hours of that, followed by The Rookie. Just one Big Bang Theory for you tonight. E-Talk, and then we've got your local and national news. National at 11, local 11:30 with Donovan Mace. Well, scores of people packed the beaches on Saturday to watch the annual fireworks competition in Vancouver.
So this team's performance, led by a couple who met as firefighters, say the theme was 20,000 Leagues Under English Bay, obviously inspired by the old movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's an all-Canadian lineup in this year's competition, as it'll move next to Quebec on Wednesday and Nova Scotia on Saturday. That is pretty.
I love fireworks.
Do you?
Yeah.
Huh. Learn something new about Jonesy every day.
Have I gone to the ones at Scada Center? No.
All right, well, it's all in a day's work for a mother possum transporting her 13 kids on her back when a couple of them run into a bit of a snag.
Mother waddled up to the fence, barely squeezed through. You got to get through, but hey, you're going to knock a couple of them out behind, right? So she complete the journey, but two of them got hung up on the fence. Luckily, Mom noticed that maybe she was feeling a little lighter, came back and picked up the two.
Does she come back, or she figured out?
No, she's waiting.
Figure it out for yourself.
She's waiting. She's picking up the two. So there you go. I think 1 or 2 kids are tough, but 13? That'd be extremely tough. I'm going to play possum now.